Hello everyone, and in today's new video, I am going to talk about the most tragic story in Silent Hill, the one who had to endure the most. And I have chosen, of course, from the Silent Hill, Heather Mason. I just love her so much, and I think that she had one of the worst journeys, to my opinion. I'm going to explain the way, the idea, what she had to endure, her journey, what psychological impacts had on her, all of those things. But one of the questions we may all have is, who is Heather Mason? Now, Heather Mason is the main protagonist in Silent Hill 3, originally known as Cheryl Mason. She is the adopted daughter of Harry Mason, the protagonist of the first Silent Hill game. Heather finds herself ensnared in a nightmarish web of supernatural occurrences. As she navigates the unsettling environments of Silent Hill, she discovers a deeply intricate and tragic history intertwined with the mysterious forces that plot the town. What does Heather look like? Heather is typically depicted as a young woman with long brown hair. In Silent Hill 3, she wears a green and yellow striped sleeveless shirt, blue jeans, and sneakers. Her appearance is designed to be relatable and ordinary, emphasizing the contrast between her normality and the nightmarish world she becomes entangled with in Silent Hill. And we all know Silent Hill is that town that makes everything with puzzles, everything bad happens there, disturbing monsters, eerie sounds, everything about it, and we can never forget the radio. What about her backstory? Heather Mason's backstory in Silent Hill 3 is tied to the events of the original Silent Hill games. Now, Silent Hill 1 is deeply connected to Silent Hill 3. Originally, again, she was named Cheryl Mason. She's the adopted daughter of Harry Mason, the protagonist of the first game. As the story progresses, it is revealed that Heather plays a crucial role in a complex and tragic occult plot involving a cult called the Order. Her journey becomes a struggle not only for survival but also to uncover the unsettling truth about her own identity and the dark forces that have been influencing her life. Now, this cult called the Order may have, again, with the new Silent Hill TV show streaming serve, as it has been uploading Silent Hill Ascension. I'm talking about that cult, which is the same called the Order. It can have a connection, question mark, but we're not going to talk about that. Now, what about her parents? Heather Mason's adoptive father is Harry Mason. So we are talking about her adoptive father, not her biological father. If y'all know the differences, y'all should know, but I'm going to explain it to you if y'all don't. Biological father is the one who actually made her. It's her real father, while the adoptive father is the one that took her. Now, he found her as a baby on the side of the road after the events of the first Silent Hill game. So on the side of the road, after some events that occurred in where? Silent Hill. The circumstances of Heather's birth, parents intrinsically tied to the occult events and mysteries surrounding the town of Silent Hill. We all know Silent Hill has billions, millions, trillions question marks to it. So why did Harry Mason, her adoptive father, find her on the side of the street? That is the mystery that Silent Hill has it. So it is locked in a maze. It is not for us to find. As the narrative unfolds in Silent Hill 3, more details about Heather's true origins and the involvement of her birth parents in the unsettling events of the series come to light. The challenges and traumas that Heather faces in the games are primarily linked to the dark supernatural forces of Silent Hill rather than any form of abuse from her adoptive parents. Now, whenever you see Silent Hill 3, don't think there is an abusive thing happening to her. No, it's actually the supernatural forces occurring towards her. What did she suffer from? Heather Mason suffers from a variety of psychological and emotional challenges due to her involvement with the dark forces of Silent Hill. These challenges include confronting her own identity, dealing with traumatic events tied to the town's occult history, and facing disturbing creatures and environments that test her sanity. Imagine her sanity. The suffering she experiences is largely a result of the supernatural and psychological elements woven in the narrative of Silent Hill rather than an inherent personal issue, so pretty much everything is linked towards Silent Hill, the monsters, and the problems and challenges that she has to be. Heather Mason grapples with psychological distress stemming from the surreal and nightmarish experiences she undergoes in Silent Hill. Her journey involves seeing grotesque creatures, disturbing environments, we all know it, and this can lead to manifestations of anxiety, fear, and a sense of existential dread. The psychological horror elements of the game play a significant role in shaping her mental state throughout the narrative, so it can definitely be really bad. Now, what happens when you experience too much horror in the aspect of psychological? Experiencing much psychological horror can lead to various adverse effects on an individual mental well-being. It may result in heightened anxiety, panic attacks, and even nightmares, and increased sensitivity to stress. Prolonged exposure to intense psychological horror, whether it's the form of fiction like horror games or real-life trauma, which we're talking about her, can contribute to conditions such as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, or other anxiety-related disorders. The human mind is complex, and reactions to horror can vary widely among individuals, because even if I can experience this kind of horror game or this horror environmental state or vibe that I'm seeing right now, it's not for the same, because the human brain is different towards everyone in the way that it thinks different, it has different concerns, and it's better for our mental health to understand that. And how does she become like, because at firstly on the game, like, she's not pretty much with stress and anxiety, but there are moments when she just like hates it, because it definitely plays with her psychology. Does Heather Mason have siblings though? Does she have siblings? Does she have a brother or sister? There is no information of the storyline indicating that Heather Mason, the main character, we all know from Silent Hill 3, has any siblings. Her story, we all know, primarily revolves around her adoptive father, Harry Mason, and everything else that is supernatural is tied to the town of Silent Hill. She also appears in Silent Hill 1. In Silent Hill 1, the protagonist is Harry Mason, and his adopted daughter is Cheryl Mason. Cheryl is the character who later becomes Heather Mason in Silent Hill 3. While there is a connection between the characters, they are represented differently in Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 3. Cheryl and Heather are essentially the same character but with different names.
Wait, what's going on? Where is everybody? Those weird monsters?
Don't you know? Your power is needed.
How should I know?
I am Claudia,